Okay, guys, welcome back once again. You got the Dragon with Dragon Works. Back on the 2015 Royal Enfield. Had this bike in here for a while because when I picked it up, when I picked up his Suzuki Bandit that he wanted done right away, he said, go ahead and grab this one while you're here. And he bought this aftermarket universal fairing that goes on the light here. Let's see, it's sitting over there on the back of that Suzuki. Right there, okay. So yeah, the universal fairing does not fit the bike. So what happens is if you move the fairing all the way back to the light, which you actually can't do, it hits the gauges, it hits the handlebar clamps, all the cables and everything. So what needs to be done is this headlight, I talked about this in the other video, this headlight has to be spaced out like an inch and a quarter right here, inch and a half. And then the light, the fairing will fit the light because the light will be moved out. Then the brackets and everything will line up just right for this light here. So we've had a little trouble locating that. I haven't had a lot of time to search it, but now I have a source, a guy that's going to be selling a bunch of parts and stuff, going out of business kind of thing. I might be able to source one from him, what I'm looking for. They don't sell just the ring. It's actually made into this light. And I might have to take this whole retainer and actually cut the ring out or something. I'm not 100% sure because what I'm looking for, I can't find. And of course, I know the owner's getting a little antsy to get his bike back. And he said, oh, well, just, you can make one out of metal and just paint it black and I'm okay with that. But, I got to put my name on it, so I'm kind of looking for something that's going to look factory. And the bike's a great little bike. I really don't want to half-ass it. I'd like to find exactly what I'm looking for, but like I say, the bike's kind of been on the back burner a little bit. One of the things that the owner said to me, hey man, keep this thing on a tender the whole time because I've been having trouble with the battery and been having trouble with it not starting. And so sure enough, it's been sitting right here. You guys see in my other videos, been sitting here for a month now, keeping the tender on it every day, like he asked, not having a chance to look at it yet. So today I got a chance, not really, but I got to give him some time. So I pulled it out of the spot and I pulled it out here on the floor and I turned it on. All the lights came on. I hit the starter button and nothing happened. So I went ahead and, like I say, I yanked off the cover. And first thing that caught my eye was this wire right here, because I could see bare wire, and that's never good in a battery box. And you can see it obviously got hot and melted. And then I noticed all up along here is electrical tape that's not factory. It's okay, the factory does use it sometimes, but not there. That's obviously, it burnt off the old part. Somebody tore that off and taped it up. So something bad happened. And then it brought my eye to up here. I saw a little scorch mark right there on the battery. Then I saw the cover for the battery cable had a scorch mark. The tender fuse area has a scorch mark. And here's the pull loop that pops the back seat off. It's all melted up. So yeah, some really bad stuff happened here. But first thing I want to point out is, as soon as I saw this scorch mark, I thought, well, maybe this wire was flopping around. So I grabbed it, but it's tight. And then I see there's a nut on the back of this bolt. Looks like somebody's trying to use it as a spacer. So I thought, uh-oh. So then I grab, now this is your main power wire coming off the battery, going to the starter, going to all the electronics and everything. And so I grabbed that, and it's as loose as can be, but yet the bolt's tight. You can't turn the bolt with your fingers. It's tight. But you can see that the bolt is not a factory battery bolt like this one. And I was just talking about this yesterday to somebody. These bolts are exactly a perfect length that it'll tighten the little nut up. There's a little nut inside there. It'll tighten that nut and draw it to here so it clamps your cable, but yet it's not long to where it'll bottom out in the back of that block right there. So when you do something like this, you put a bolt in and you don't take in consideration the length of it, what it does is it threads in that nut and keeps going back, back, back until it bottoms out, which this one has done. Let me see if I can use this lighting and poke through here. Not real well, but you can see inside, it's called a block. Inside that block there, or terminal, that bolt is hitting the back of it. You can barely see the little shiny spot in the center of the screen. Sorry, this is terrible videoing, but you'll see a little shiny spot back in there. That's actually the thread from this bolt bottoming out. So what I'm trying to tell you is that means this cable will never get tight because the bolt's not even touching it yet, or the spacer or whatever you want to call that little nut on there. But yeah, this would give a good indication of why the battery's having trouble. If you short out a battery, you just took life out of it. I mean, even if you do it for a second, it affects it. You know, it's just like you having a heart attack. It's the exact same thing. You're not going to be the same after that. This is just really odd looking, but then, so I thought, wow, what would do that? So I came to the cover and thought I better investigate it. And I see, not down at the bottom, but you can see right here on the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen, there's a couple rub marks. So I got scientific on it, and I took the distance between, what was it, this one? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this one. No, here it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Back on the other side, the one on the left side. So I took a little precision ruler with a little slide and microscopically measured that and found out that that would put that mark, if you go from the center of the grommet out to the marks on the cover, it lines up with the center of where the grommet hooks here. It lines up perfectly with that terminal, and same thing on this side. So that battery definitely shorted out inside that cover somewhere along the line. And I was told that the bike was dropped at one time. It could have just been that, like a real hard hit, and that did it, or I'm not sure. But yeah, that would, this will keep your battery from charging properly if you don't have a good connection and you're charging it through a tender. Now this wire, like I say, is snug, but it's weird because I think it's just jammed up on the nut that's behind it. But anyway, yeah, bikes don't like to start when the cable's loose like that. So, all right, guys, I will get back to you here in a bit. I'm going to see what else is going on. I'm going to try to fix these wires up here, put the right bolt in there, and see if that solves the problem. And then we'll have to test this battery. Probably going to have to get another battery because you're just going to have problems. If I can't get it to stay charged, then it's not going to be any good for him. All right, guys. So yeah, got to do a service, oil, all that kind of stuff. Go over the bike. I think the back tire is going to be needed replaced here before too long. But going to service, check it out, and try to get this fairing on here for him. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.